The modern technical media that we usually think of when we say medium, are also a means of expression, and if they aren't in the very beginning, then they soon become that. So therefore, I don't really want to make a strong distinction between traditional media, and these new media, in principle. For example, if you think about writing, we have to say that it's just as interesting to study, the technologies of the scribes in the Middle Ages, with their parchment and their inks and their making their pens themselves and all that kind of thing, and how that relates to what can be said and what cannot be said and how, as it is to look at PowerPoint now. There are, the difference is, with the new technologies that to a degree, to a greater degree, I believe, semiotic principles or artificial intelligence is built into them. So that things that you had to kind of learn and put in your head, you don't have to put in your head anymore. They're in there. What we said in our definition of medium was that a medium is the material, substance, tools, materials, that are being used to realize meanings, and that is not, as in some forms of traditional semiotics or linguistics, merely a realization. It is not. It does not leave, just as the technologies don't leave meaning unaffected. So the fact that you realize meaning in this medium or in that medium, does not, leave the meaning unaffected. Yes, reading images has principles which are the same regardless of whether it's a painting or a photograph or whatever. But what the next step is to say, like what are the specific, meanings and that I get realized by the kind of medium you have, and how do people particularly use the medium itself and the affordance of the medium itself to make meaning. So it is not merely it's not merely like phonology was construed as not providing only making meaning possible, but not itself adding meaning to it. I believe that it adds that we have to rethink that, and we have to think that all these articulation of speech, voice, all these things add meaning, and likewise the materialities in which other things are expressed in multimodality too. So you have these two levels, and then in the history of a particular semiotic mode, it starts out with medium. That's the begin point. We start using something to make meaning that hasn't been used before.